morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Adi. Let me introduce myself to all of you. I am Sherren. My student number is B1024191034. I'm the student of International Management from Universitas Tanjung Pura. In this semester, I take Human Resource Management. My lecturer is Mr. Adi Mursalin. On this good occasion, I would like to answer the HRM midterm quiz. Well, my dear audience, watch me and listen to me carefully. The question consists of three parts, namely Part A, Part B, and Part C. Now, I would like to answer the question on Part A. Part A. It is related to my activities in the Zoom meeting. First, I attend the class 7 times and I never miss the class. I always attend the class because I want to learn more about HRM, watching my friend's presentation and share my presentation too. Of course, I did that to know more about the HRM material, so I try not to miss the class too. No, I never miss the Zoom meeting class of HRM because study HRM is so fun and we can get more knowledge about HRM. 3. I use the book titled A Handbook of Human Resource Management Practice from Michael Armstrong in the 10th edition. The book tells how to manage people, HRM processes, work and employment, organizational behavior, organization design and development, people resourcing, and many more that tells in many chapters and many parts. 4. There are 12 chapters of the book. The chapter 1 is Managing People. It deals with the approaches and philosophies that affect how people are managed in organizations, the role of the HR function and its members, and the special consideration that affect international people management. The term people management embraces the two related concepts of human resource management, or HRM, and human capital management, or HCM, which are defined and explained in the first 2 chapters. These have virtually replaced the term personal management, although the philosophies and practice is personal management, still provide the foundation for the philosophy and practices of HRM and HCM. Chapter 2 is about human resource management process. It studies about human resource management processes are those concerned with the development of HR strategies, or strategic of HRM, policies and practice that affect all aspects of HR and employment management. This part also covers other processes that affect most aspects of HRM, namely competency-based approaches, knowledge management, and role and competency analysis. Chapter 3 is Work and Employment. This chapter is concerned with the factors affecting employment in organization. It explores the nature of work, the employment relationship, and the important concept of the psychological contract. So what is work? Work is the exertion of effort and the application of knowledge and skill to achieve a purpose. And the concept of the employment relationship is significant to HR specialists because it governs much of what organizations need to be aware of in developing and applying HR processes, policies, and procedures. Chapter 4 is Organizational Behavior. The purpose of this part of the book is to outline a basic set of concepts and to provide analytical tools which will enable HR specialists to diagnose organizational behavior and to take appropriate actions. Chapter 5, Organization, Design and Development. This part is concerned with the practical application of organizational behavior theory. It starts by looking at the processes of organizational design and development and then deals with job and role development. Chapter 6 is people resourcing. People resourcing is concerned with ensuring that the organization obtains and retains the human capital it needs and employ them productively. It is also about those aspects of employment practice that are concerned with welcoming people to the organization and, if there is no alternative, releasing them. HRM is fundamentally about matching human resource to the strategic and operational needs of the organization and ensuring the full utilization of those resources. Chapter 7 Performance Management. In this chapter, study the nature, aims, characteristic, concern, and guiding principle of performance management are described. In addition, the difference between performance appraisal and performance management are examined, and reference is made to the field of selection of practitioner of performance management. Chapter 8 is Human Resource Development. Chapter 8 is Human Resource Development. Human resource development is concerned with the provision of learning, development, and training opportunities in order to improve individual, team, and organizational performance. HRD is essentially a business-led approach to developing people within a strategic framework. Chapter 9 Rewarding People. This part is concerned with the process of rewarding people in organizations. It starts with the general review of reward management, which include description of its application for directors and executive style staff and manual workers. This chapter provides an overview of reward management. The concept of reward management, its strategic and detailed aims, and its philosophy are discussed initially. Chapter 10 is Employee Relation. Employee relation consists of all those areas of human resource management that involve relationship with others directly or through collective agreement where trade unions are recognized. The purpose of this chapter is to provide a review of the complex subject of employment relation. Chapter 11 is Health, Safety, and Welfare. This part deals with the services provided by the HR department in order to help the organization meet its legal and social responsibilities to ensure a healthy and safe place of work, to help employees cope with their personal problems, to help elderly and retired employees, and in some cases to make recreational facilities available. Chapter 12 is Employment and HRM Services. It studies about terms and conditions of employment, which apply generally or to groups of employment need to be defined in the areas included in the contract of employment are described below. 5. Yes, I'm an active student at HRM class while Zoom meeting. I always ask if there is some parts of material I didn't understand that presented by my friend. I also join every meeting and never leave the Zoom while it is still presenting. 6. There are 12 groups that has already presented. I learned about the definition, the rules, the implementation, knowledge about HRM, and many more. Meanwhile, I learned from my group are developing and implementing HR strategies, such as propositions about the development process, strategic definitions, and the barriers to the implementation of HR strategies. 7. Yes, I am very interested in this HRM because this subject is very fun. The class is more active than the other subject. HRM is also so important in every role of our life. I can learn how to treating people and manage people and many more. So I'm interested in this subject. Well, now I have answered all the questions of part A, and now I want to answer the question on part B. First, HR strategies are described by Dyer and Reeve 1995 as internally consist bundles of human resource practices, and in the words of Boxall 1996, they provide a framework of critical ends and means. Richardson and Thompson 1999 suggest that a strategy, whether it is an HR strategy or any other kind of management strategies, must have two key elements. There must be strategic objective, or things be the strategy is supposed to achieve, and there must be a plan of action, the means by which it is proposed that is the objective will be met. By Season 1995 has commented, HR management is not a single homogeneous occupation, and it involves a variety of roles and activities that differ from one organization to another and from one level to another in the same organization. And the last, human resource management was defined by Hall as the identification of needed skills and active management of learning for the long-range future in relation to explicit corporate and business strategy. 2. The role of the HR function and human resource management is fairly important, namely determining factor of production, building and developing the company. If there are no qualified and adequate human resources, the company will automatically fail to achieve the goal it wants to achieve. In addition, the existence of this human resource is also a key factor in determining the success of a company or organization as a workforce, a leader, experts, producer, entrepreneurs, and many more. 3. Because human resource policies and procedures are important as they provide structure, control, consistency, fairness, and reasonableness in SME. They also ensure compliance with employment legislation and inform employees of their responsibilities and the company expectations. 4. A strategy has been defined by Jensen and Scholes 1993 as the direction and scope of an organization over the long term, which ideally matches its resources to its changing environment and in particular to its markets, customers, and clients to meet stakeholder expectations. Strategy determines the direction in which the organization is going in relation to its environment. It is the process of defining intention or strategic intent and allocating or matching resources to opportunity and needs based on resource strategy. Business strategy is concerned with achieving competitive advantage. The effective development and implementation of strategy depend on the strategic capability of the organization's managers. Strategy is expressed in strategic goals and development and implemented in strategic plans through the process of strategic management. Strategy is about implementation, which include the management of change as well as planning. 5. Strategic human resource management is the connection between a company human resource and its strategic objective and goals. The aim of strategic human resource management is to advantage flexibility, innovation, and competitive advantage. Develop a fit-for-purpose organizational culture. 6. There are two basic types of HR strategies can be identified. First is overarching strategies, and second is specific strategies relating to the different aspects of human resource management. The first one, overarching HR strategies, is describe the general intention of the organization about how people should be managed and develop what steps should be taken to ensure that HR processes the organization can attract and retain the people it needs, and ensure so far as possible that employees are committed, motivated, and engaged. The example of operating strategies are Aegon, B&K, ACT, and many more. Second is specific HR strategies set out what the organization intends to do in areas such as: first, talent management is how the organization intends to win the war for talent. Second is continuous improvement, providing for focus and continuous incremental innovation sustained over a period of time. The third is knowledge management, is creating, acquiring, capturing, and sharing and using knowledge to enhance learning and performance. Fourth is resourcing. It is about attracting and retaining high-quality people. 5. Learning and developing. It is providing an environment in which employees are encouraged to learn and develop. Reward is defining what the organization wants to do in the longer term of develop and implement reward policies, practices, and process that will further the achievement of its business goals and meet the needs of its stakeholders. Employee relation is defining the intention of the organization about what needs to be done and what needs to be changed in the ways in which the organization manages its relationships with employees and their trade unions. 7. Competency-based HRM is about using the concept of competency and the result of competency analysis to inform and improve the processes of performance management, recruitment and selections, employee development, and employee reward. A competency framework contains definition of all the behavioral competency used in the whole or a part an organization. It provides the basis for the use of competencies in such areas as recruitment, employee development, and reward. The two prime reasons for organizations to use competency as established by Miller et al. 2001 were: first, that the application of competencies to appraisal, training, and other personal process will help to increase the performance of employees, and second, that competencies provide a means of articulating corporate values so that their requirement can be embodied in HR practices and be readily understood by individuals and teams within the organization. Other reasons include the use of competency as a means of achieving cultural change and of raising skills level. 8. There are 10 steps of develop a competency framework. Step 1. Program launch. Decide on the purpose of the framework and HR processes for where it will be used. Make out a business case for its development, setting out the benefits to the organization in such as improved performance, better selection outcomes, more focus in performance management, employee development, and reward processes. Prepare a project plan that includes an assessment of the resources required and the cost. Step 2 is involvement and communication. Involve line managers and employees in the design of the framework in stages 3 and 4 by setting up a task force. Communicate the objective of the exercise to staff. Step 3 is framework design. Competency list first, then the task force to draw up a list of the core competencies and values of the business, what it should be good at doing, and the values it believes should influence behavior. Step 4 is framework design definition of Competencies care need to be exercised to ensure that definitions are clear and unambiguous and that they will serve the intended purpose. For example, one of the purposes is to provide criteria for conducting performance review, and then it is necessary to certain that the way that the competency is defined together two supporting examples will enable fair assessment to be made. The fifth one is define use of competency framework. Define exactly how it is intended to be. Competencies framework should be used, covering such as application as performance management requirement and learning and development and reward. Step 6 is the test framework. Test the framework by judging the reaction of balanced selection of line managers and other employees to ensure that they understand it and believe that it is relevant to their roles. Step 7 is finalize the framework, amend the frameworks and necessary following the test and prepare notes for guidance of how it should be used. Step 8 is communicate. Let everyone know the outcome of the project, what the framework is, how it will be used, and how people will benefit. Group briefings and any sustainable means should be used. Step 9 is train. Give line managers and HR staff training in how to use the framework. Step 10 is monitor and evaluate. Monitor and evaluate the use of the framework and amend it is as required. 9. Blacker 1995 note that knowledge is multifaceted and complex, being both situated and abstract, implicit and explicit, distributed and individual, physical, mental, developing and static, verbal and encoded. He categorized form of knowledge as first, embedded in technologies, rules and organizational procedures. Second, in culture, collective understanding, stories, values and belief. 3 is embodied into the practical activity based the competencies and skill of the key member of the organization. 4 is embraced as the conceptual understanding and cognitive skills of key member. Knowledge management is concerned with storing and sharing the wisdom, understanding and expertise accumulated in an organization about its processes, techniques and operations. 10. Explicit knowledge can be codified. It is recorded and available, and it is held in databases in corporate intranets or intellectual properties portfolios. Tacit knowledge exists in people's minds. It is difficult to articulate in writing and is acquired through personal experience. As explained by Black 1998, the purpose of knowledge management is to capture a company's collective expertise and distribute to wherever it can achieve by the biggest payoff. This is in accordance with the resource-based view of the firm, which, as argued by Grant 1991, suggests that the source of competitive advantage lies within the firm in its people and their knowledge, not in how it positions itself in the market. Trusser commented that the capability to gather, level and use knowledge advantage in many businesses over the next few years. A successful company is a knowledge-creating company. Knowledge management is about getting knowledge from those of who have it to those who need to improve organizational effectiveness. Now I have answered all the questions on part B, and now I want to answer the question on part C. Part C is related to the video on YouTube. The first video. 1. Yes, I have watched the video completely. 2. The drama tells about two human resource management which have different perspective in the way of managing the human resource management. Lunar managers are so mean and not concerned about her employees. Meanwhile, Luffy is very concerned with his employees and humble. 3. I find the manager while they introducing themselves in the beginning of the video. 4. In this video, I learned that being a manager is not easy because we must care, respect about the employee's job too. Because if we don't do that, it will make so many miscommunication and the company will also not working well. 5. If I was the manager in a company, I will build and encourage communication skill. Communication skills are arguably the most important to use and build as a manager. Establishing and maintaining open lines of communication with your team can help you understand their needs, work with them on achieving tasks or goals, decrease misunderstanding, exchange expectations of one another, and more. And I will support collaboration, provide clarity over and receive consistent feedback, practice active listening, acknowledge others, set a positive example, set achievable goals, provide training, improve your leadership skill, and understand your role. I have answered all the questions on part C first video, and now I want to answer the question on second video. 1. The video tells about the company that have problem with the employees because of the manager is corrupt and have an unfair divisions. 2. The problem faced by the company are the one of the manager is corrupt, the workload of employees is too much, and the salary is not appropriate. 3. We can see it from the job, which as we know, manager is the one who manage employees. 4. We can learn from the video that being a manager, we must control our employees, not giving them too much work. We also must control their condition while they work in our company. If there is a pressure due to the work, and as a manager, we must be wise. And I have all answered the question on the second video, and now I want to answer the question on the third video. Number 1. Yes, I have watched the video completely. 2. The video tell about the company have a problem with the market shares and sales. Then the loyal customer move to the other company and the boss is angry and having a meeting with the managers to fix the problem. But the boss is also not treat their employees well. And the boss is not pay the salary in appropriate. 3. There are Hendy Tendra as a CEO, Karin Sanjay as a secretary, Eksan Septian as a marketing manager sharing the data that he have done, the total of sales, percent of the market selling, Salvatore Powerno as a operation manager sharing the data of the CEO and secretary tells the production in a day. Kane Cristanto is a financial manager. He is sharing the financial report to CEO and secretary. And the last is Daniel Giovanni as an HRM manager. 4 is, as we know and see, we can see from their job as the manager, who is led and manage employees. 5. All the managers are discussing what they have do for the company. They also talking about the salary because of the amount that not fair with what they have done their job. 6. As a CEO, we must not have a bad temper. We must also protect and care about our company because the managers and employees are doing very well already. Not only managers and employees work, but as a CEO or a leader, we also have to take part, so the company will run well. It is the end of the question on the third video of part C. So this is the end of my video. I hope to see you all again and stay safe, and thank you for watching my video. Bye!